Sparks, welcome back to Sparkplug TV. Oh geez. Okay, so before I dive into today's video, I did want to go over a couple of things that have been kind of happening in my immediate life that is kind of affecting my channel. So first and foremost, today's video is not going to feature any drone footage. The good news is that I actually found my first sponsorship from a dealership. Hooray! Oh my God, so exciting, right? So super great. Shout out to Mitchell Mill Motors already. I'll put the link in the description below. You know, just to recap the story, I basically went to the dealership. I was all dressed up real nice, ready to go. I had my pitch, I had my drone, I had my business cards, everything ready to go. You know, he agreed to it. He was very gracious in giving me this opportunity. And I was like, hey, cool, like, let's take my drone out and I can demo it for you, right? So as I'm demoing the drone has this like object avoidance technology in it that's supposed to avoid any object it detects. It ended up not doing that. Because it didn't do that, I am down a very expensive piece of equipment. It is being mended right now, hopefully. I sent it off to get repairs. But in the meantime, you know, today's video is gonna be a little different in that respect. So to kind of segue into my next subject, I do have a link in the description below for my GoFundMe page as well. As you probably well know, it does take a certain amount of capital to kind of keep these videos going, and especially because I did crash my drone, it's gonna cost a little bit of money to, you know, fix that. So I hate groveling, I hate begging. I just think that in the interim, like, I am gonna need some help financially. So yeah, like I said, I've linked the description to my GoFundMe. There's a whole explanation in that website. I put a video up explaining why I need more money, etc. But thank you. And finally, this isn't a big deal, but I am learning as I go. I got a little tripped up last time about the differences in transmissions, especially in the Porsche world. I said something along the lines of Porsche only offers a Triptronic transmission, but they actually offer a Tiptronic transmission, and they offer a secondary transmission called the PDK. There's a difference between the two, and I thought that they were the same. The dual clutch PDK transmission offers a faster mode of gear changes, whereas the Tiptronic offers a more smoother, not as quick kind of gear change. So again, not a big deal, but just wanted to clear the air. Not gonna be making any YouTube apology videos about it, but I guess I did dedicate a couple of seconds to that here. So anyways, all right, so for today's video, I very clearly have a 2020 Porsche Macan with me. I'm very excited to have this car. In terms of compact luxury SUVs, I'm not the biggest fan of that segment. The unibody shape is not my favorite shape in the world, but I do think that this is probably one of, if not my all-time favorite compact luxury SUV. I could not stop raving about it when I was picking it up from my friend. This Macan sticker price was around $65,000. The base MSRP is around $52,000. You can option it all the way up into the 70s and 80s, depending on which one you get. The trim levels range all the way from the Macan S, the Macan Turbo, the Macan S Diesel, Macan GTS. I think I covered the bases. The original framework, and still today from this vehicle, is the Audi Q5, but the design aspects and everything on the interior is uniquely Porsche. The Macan was originally conceptualized in 2010, but didn't go on sale in the US until 2014. Now, the Macan actually is a Javanese term that stands for tiger. I found that very interesting. Seeing as this is the base model Macan, this has a 2.0-liter inline-4 engine, cranking out 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. When the Macan originally went on sale in 2014, worldwide it sold 350,000 units, but 100,000 of them were sold in China. China. Sorry. In terms of the fuel economy, it doesn't get the best fuel economy. You would think it would do a little bit better, but it only does about 23 on the highway and 19 in the city. I think for a car this small, you would expect a little bit better gas mileage, but it is technically a performance car, so maybe don't set your expectations too high. Sadly, the base model Macan with the 2.0-liter inline-4 engine doesn't do the highest performance on the track, as it does only output about 0 to 60 of 6.3 seconds and a top speed of 142 miles an hour. Oh, how I love the Macan. Let me count the ways. Reason number one, the front end is a mean motherfucker. I think a lot of cars these days look pretty mean, especially the sportier ones. This one itself definitely looks mean. The headlights are my favorite part of this, because the headlights with these 4 different LED running lights on the daytime, and then these LED running lights down at the bottom, This kind of breaks up the regular, like, you know, linear daytime running light that you see on practically every modern 2015 to 2020 car nowadays. The front grille seems to be pushed up a little bit more from the original model back in 2014. It seems to be a bit boxier in the front than the original model. And again, it just adds to the aggressiveness that is the front end of this car. Ugh. Can I have you? Surprisingly, the Macan didn't receive the light bar treatment until 2019 model. Previously, the Macan had these individual taillights that were kind of a bean shape. Beans, 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 beans. But now, of course, being that it's, you know, 2020, all of the Macans from now on will have this light bar. The light bar is definitely a trend in the industry. I really, really love the light bar on this car. My Elantra comes with a light bar, but I think it fits this design the best. In terms of cargo room, you do have an automatic liftgate, and in the back with the seats up, you do have about 17.2 cubic feet of cargo room. Here, let me see if I fit in it. I hope nobody comes around and sees this. Yeah, I fit in here. My God, I thought I couldn't open it for a second. That was scary. With the back seats down, however, you do get an astonishing 52 cubic feet of cargo room, which is enough for at least 3 golf club bags. I don't play golf. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I don't love the unibody shape that the industry seems to love so much, but I do have to say that this is probably my favorite unibody look that I've seen thus far. It's kind of like a watered down, smaller sister of the Cayenne. It looks positively Porsche. Now there is another option that you can get on the side. These are called side blades, and they're $650 if you want them to match the color of the vehicle. Now the owners of this got them painted black so that it could match the racing stripe on the front. Gives it an sportier edge to it. All right, y'all, let's talk interior. My favorite place to be, and especially in this Porsche Macan. This Porsche Macan specifically does come with the premium package. They opted for the $6,500 premium package, which includes the Bose surround sound system, heated and cooled seats up front, powered front seats, and surprisingly, both seats have these memory settings, which I've never seen before, but I think that's pretty cool. It has a panoramic roof that has a sunshade, obviously, for when it gets to be too sunny out. And the sunroof might as well be a moonroof because it's humongous, especially when you open it. The infotainment screen does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It does have the option to get a wireless charging pad, but this one does not have the wireless charging pad. Instead, you have 2 USB-C ports in the center console. Just like all modern luxury cars now, this actually offers in-vehicle Wi-Fi as well. The button layout of the front is a little daunting at first when you get in. There's a lot of buttons, a lot of silver going on, but once you finally get your eyeballs adjusted to the front, it is actually not as bad as I originally said in my last video. I know that the newest Cayenne has a bunch of buttons. It has a ton of buttons up front, but these buttons are actually pretty self-explanatory and you don't have to look at them too much. You really just need to know where your climate control is and then your downhill assist, as well as your options between sport, traction control, and the off-road option. All right, so another couple of key features that I wanted to mention about the Macan. Just like any other luxury SUV, this one does come with keyless entry. So when you walk up to it, you put your hand on the door handle, it obviously unlocks. You can open it up. The seat moves forward for you automatically based on the key that you have in your pocket. Speaking of the key is a Porsche-shaped kind of key fob, just like any other Porsche. And then it's got the panic button on the back. It's a pretty cool fob if you ask me. And then once you get in, it isn't push to start, but it does have this little turn knob that you can turn to turn it on, accessory, and then to turn it on. And then another little tidbit too that the owner told me about was this little compartment down in the bottom that opens, and then you can put whatever you want in it. I'm assuming that this is to keep the screen clean, but then you can also close it, and then it actually locks when you go into drive. Test driving the Porsche Macan, my favorite compact luxury SUV. I've got it in sport mode. I've got it in manual. Lego. Ooh. Yeah, that is tight.
That's what she said.
You know, I can see what those articles are saying about how it is not as quick as maybe the turbocharged engine or the V6 or even the turbocharged V6. I mean, it obviously still has a lot of pep. Because it's an SUV, it might not be as nimble around the corners as a typical Porsche should be, but it's nimble enough that you still want to throw it around like it's a regular Porsche. The 7-speed dual-clutch PDK transmission, which I think I forgot to mention earlier, is just splendid. It is splendid. I love it. That noise is actually another feature that I think I forgot to mention, which is the lane keep assist. It will make that weird Darth Vader kind of Star Wars noise to let you know that you're not in the lane properly. Another feature that I think I forgot to mention too is the front end collision avoidance. So it will stop if you're getting too close to an object, but it doesn't have radar guided cruise control. I'm pretty sure that that's probably another option. Add another stop sign, sport mode on. Here we go. I hope you can hear the transmission underneath the car clunking. It's like, you can hear it turning as it's changing gears. And it's music to my ears. It's the same kind of transmission that I found in the Audi SQ5. There goes. Oops. The spring suspensions are probably not nearly as soft as the air suspension. I think maybe one complaint I have about this is the fact that it is a little tougher, it's a little bumpier, and it's a little stiffer, but it's not that much to shake a stick at because it's still a pretty nice ride. Here comes a pretty decent corner. Oh my God. I just took that corner at 50 and that, yeah, there was no roll. That was surprising. I like the fact that the center gauge cluster has a hybrid form between analog and digital. Most newer cars these days have fully digital screens, and I think it's nice to kind of combine the two. And I really like the ability to see the torque split between the front and the rear axles, because I think most all-wheel drive luxury SUVs have that, but it's really cool to see which one has the most power at the time. For being as big as I am, the cabin is actually pretty roomy. With the space that I have to leave myself for up front, there's not a whole lot of space for the passengers in the back. But this would be an insanely comfortable daily driver. I don't know, I guess I can't choose between whether like it's stiff or whether it's a comfortable daily driver. Again, I really would love to see what the air suspension, the difference between the regular shocks and the air suspension would be, because I would imagine that the air suspension would be cushier, of course. But, you know, I think that this is, you know, well enough. I think the one thing I wouldn't plan on doing with this would be taking it off-road. There is no way you would catch me in a $70,000 car off-roading. At least not right now anyways. So let's go over final thoughts. My final thoughts are yes, I will take this car, please. I'll have one of everything. I want this car. I'd probably want it with the bigger engine, probably would want it with the better suspension. Options on the interior, perfect. I don't need it to be changed at all. Love the color, love the red, love the racing stripes. I just wish it was a little bit faster because it is a Porsche, but it's fast enough that, and nobody knows the difference. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, right? I mean, except for you. I love the materials. It's comfortable. The seats are great. Yeah, I would buy this. I would 100% buy this. So if you want to help me buy something like this, do me a couple of favors. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get updates on all of my new uploads. I try to upload every week. I don't have a set schedule because I do work a day job. Thanks for watching. Till next time, Sparks. Bye. Hey, Sparks. Thanks for watching. Do you want more Sparkplug TV content? Click here. Right here. One or two options.